The Trojan War is one of the most prominent events in Greek mythology. Several gods took part in the war, and even before the beginning of the war, Apollo, Zeus, and Athena were two gods and a goddess who were involved in both helping and obstructing the two belligerents, the Greek and the Trojans. Here is a comparison of how these two gods and a goddess were involved in the Trojan War.
Apollo was one of the gods who helped the Trojans because his priest's daughter was carried away by the Greeks, and later because of his admiration towards Hector. His first assistance to the Trojans was when he sent a pestilence upon the Greeks using his fiery arrows, resulting in the Greek sickness and deaths. The second was when Aeneas, son of Aphrodite, fell from the hands of his mother. He came and enveloped him in a crown and carried him to sacred Pergamos, the holy place of Troy, where Artemis healed him of his wound. And the third was after the fight between Hector and Ajax. Hector was almost dead, but Apollo came and then revived the fainting Hector and breathed into him surpassing power.
On the other hand, Athena favored the Greeks because of her grudge against Paris, for he said that Aphrodite was the most beautiful between the three of them, including Aphrodite, Athena, and Hera. The war between the Trojans and the Greeks could have been way sooner than they should be, but because of the fact that Athena, by the prompting of Hera, persuaded Pandarus to break the truce that whoever won the fight between Paris and Menelaus would be the one to have Helen. Pandarus, who believed the word of Athena, shot an arrow at Menelaus, breaking the truce, so the war continued. Menelaus was wounded, but only slightly.
The second time was when she and Hera helped Diomedes defeat Ares for the Greeks. Diomedes was fighting to the Trojan ranks. It was then, when he saw Ares, Hera was witnessing that as well, so she asked for Zeus' permission to go down and help Diomedes. Zeus allowed her even though Ares was his son. Hera told Diomedes to have no fear and fight Ares, so he did. He threw a spear at Ares, and Athena dove it in. After the spear entered Ares' body, he screamed and went back to Olympus. The last time she helped the Greeks was when she fought beside Achilles and defeated Hector. Achilles started the war because Hector killed his friend, Patroclus. In revenge, he wanted to kill Hector. The third time was when she refused Hecuba's prayer to spare the city, the wives, and the children of the Trojans. It was right after when Ares was defeated, and the Trojans knew they would lose.
However, there was one god who was neutral and helped both the Greeks and the Trojans, Zeus. Before the war, he was the one who asked Paris to judge between Aphrodite, Athena, and Hera whether who would get the golden apple. His first assistance to the Greeks was when Diomedes faced Ares and the Greeks were falling back. He gave permission to Hera to drive Ares, who was helping the Trojans, off from the battlefield. The second time was after he was charmed by Hera. He forgot all about his promise with Thetis to help the Trojans. Thus, the battle turned in favor of the Greeks. And the third was before the fight between Achilles and Hector. Zeus used his golden balances to judge whether Achilles or Hector would die. It turned out that Hector's time had come, leading to the Trojans' defeat.
The first time he helped the Trojans was when Thetis came up to the Olympus and asked him to help the Trojans because the Greeks had wronged her son Achilles. Zeus sent a roaring dream of victory to Agamemnon, but without Achilles, who would not go into battle. That was impossible. The second was after he remembered about the promise with Thetis. He ordered all the other immortals to stay in Olympus and came down to help the Trojans. And the third was after he was revived from Hera's charm. He commanded Poseidon, who was helping the Greeks withdraw from the field.
The two gods and the goddess were involved in several important incidents in the story. Apollo helped the Trojans. In contrast, Athena helped the Greeks, while Zeus, who wanted to stay neutral, helped both sides.
ทำงานมีอย่างนี้มี
สลับกล้องไงวะ
ทำไป
กูจะปวดดีกองประชาการ
อันนี้ป่ะใช่ป่ะ
ใช่เลยปวดใช่แบบทุกอันเลยมันนับใส่มันนับใส่
ไฟ
มันนับใส่
ฝาโค
ทำเด็ดทำหลังเลย